and welcome to Team Liquid's strategy guide series for Aberrus the Shadowed Crucible. I'm Aya, and today I'm going to break down the mechanics and strategy for Mythic the Forgotten Experiments. As always, we will assume that you are already familiar with the mechanics present in Heroic and speak only to Mythic changes regarding boss and ability behavior as well as their strategic solutions. This is the first fight so far in this guide series where the Mythic changes are extremely impactful. Firstly, and most importantly, the fight dynamic changes entirely as a result of zealous creations. Instead of the subsequent bosses spawning when the previous boss was defeated, they now spawn when the previous boss reaches 50% remaining health. This enables potential overlaps between the mechanics that were not possible in Heroic. On Mythic, the bleed caused by Rending Charge does not expire. Look to remove the effect with abilities like Cauterizing Flame and Blessing of Protection, etc. The final Mythic change is that the temporal anomaly orbs cast by Rayonthus apply a vulnerability to the player, knocking them, called Temporal Fracture. However, you can hit the orb a couple times without fear, as it only does 136,000 base damage and the vuln is 100% per stack. Even so, we will have to be vigilant to keep orbs from hitting the boss after Rayonthus spawns. Keep in mind, however, that on our first kill, we will let 5 orbs hit the boss, so letting 1 or 2 in could still be a kill. On pull, we are going to hold Lust and CDs until Neldris hits 50% and Thadrian spawns. We will want to push either during the second Bellowing Roar or a little after a minute into the fight for the easiest lineups. We will want to balance damage between Neldris and Thadrian so that Neldris dies before he casts his 4th Rending Charge, and also so that you don't spawn the 3rd boss before Neldris is dead. We will be using the same triangle marker setup for Rending Charge that we did on Heroic. We will use the blue marker depicted as the stack point to mass dispel unstable essences. By tanking the bosses on Diamond once Neldris is dead and placing the adds on blue, this causes fewer players to have to move while also enabling easy, intuitive movement for deep breath baits in Phase 3. Before this point, Neldris should be tanked on Skull to enable the marker formation for Rending Charge. After Neldris is dead, we will be focusing down Thadrian even after Rayonthus spawns to prevent extraneous casts of unstable essences and volatile eruption. It is most ideal that you sync up the first 3 dispel timings with Thadrian applying a new debuff. This results in the debuffs stacking together, removing the possibility of one player dying to high stacks before the next mass dispel. You will also want to avoid overlaps with Violent Eruption, Volatile Spew, and Deep Breath once Rayonthus spawns, while also avoiding the debuff stacking too high on players. When only Rayonthus remains, the only timing that should be avoided is during the Deep Breath. Ideally, you dispel a bit before the Deep Breath happens, have enough time to make the adds mostly dead, then proceed with the bait and movement for Deep Breath. We will want to bait Deep Breath in the center lane for the first segment, then onto the segment where our markers are. For Temporal Anomaly balls and Deep Breath, a lot of kills have him flying over these balls and gaining the shield. What we suggest is trying to manipulate the balls so that they hang out in front of Diamond, so that when he flies to the middle, the balls chase him into the lane and are already out of the way or 1 knock away from when he does his second flyover. That being said, these balls have extremely finicky hitboxes and can be hard to control, so just do your best to avoid having him fly over them. For tanks, you will want to have target markers over your head so that you do not unintentionally clear your infused strike stacks and apply the raid-wide debuff. Look to clear around 6 stacks. For healers, most of the damage comes from Bellowing Roar, Violent Eruption, adds pulsing, and players with high stacks of the Unstable Essence debuff. Among these, Violent Eruption is the most dangerous and raid-wide DR should be allocated to it. Personal defensives have value for any of these mechanics as well as Disintegrate and scenarios with overlaps or multiple raid-wide stacks of Infused Explosion. Once you have only Rayonthus alive, you are poised to kill the boss and the hardest parts of the fight are over. Try your best to keep the balls away from him while maintaining good dispel timings, and you should soon have Mythic the Forgotten Experiments down and looking forward to Rashok the Elder. With that, we very much hope you found this guide useful. Please feel free to leave feedback or commentary below this video, and make sure to keep your eyes on this channel as more guides will be coming out soon. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we will catch you in the next one.